At PrebuiltML, we understand that one of the most important parts of the takeoff process is clear communication back to the customer. For this reason, we provide a notes page at the front of the material list to help you communicate what decisions or what problems you ran up against as you performed the takeoff. This can range from notes that are very specific to a material in the project, such as floor joists, or general notes that apply to the list or to the project on a whole. In Prebuilt, there are 3 different levels at which you can apply a note. The first would be the project as a whole. You can right-click on the project, choose Create Note, and that will apply a note to all lists that are printed from the project. Or I can go to a specific list, like the house list, choose to create a note, and that will apply it to that list only when it's printed. Finally, I can go to a specific usage in the project. For example, header. I can right-click on the header, choose Create Note, and now I'm creating a note for that very specific line item. And on the notes page, the line number will be provided next to the note, so the reader can find it easily. In the Create Note window, there are multiple different fields. The only required field is the title, where we've written here, headers on main floor. All the other fields are simply there to help you communicate more clearly to the customer about the decisions you made or the problems you ran into. The first field, called Items to Reference, allows you to point out to the customer what parts of the plan or what information you're referencing when you make a decision. Here, we recognized that on page A2, there were some headers called and some sizes, but not the grades. The My Conclusions field allows you to show the customer that you chose to call Doug for number 2 for the species and grade to match the lumberyard preferences. And then finally, you can have a recommendation for the customer that perhaps they should verify with the builder before they go and ship that product. Up in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see that there is an indicator of what type of note that you are writing. This one's marked as the type of materials in question, but you could choose also that this is just for your information, the building design is in question, or perhaps the quantity of material is in question. You can choose any of those types of notes, check the boxes you like, and continue on. But let's say before you were done with your note that you wanted to reference something on the plan. So you can leave your note window up while you go to the plan, reference different points, then come back to your note and make the adjustments that you need to. Or maybe you're still considering how you want to write that note and you're moving on to another note. Again, you can right-click on a different usage, choose Create Note, and a new window comes up. This will be for posts. But then you can go back to your headers and your header note and review that, both of them at the same time. And at the bottom of the window, you'll see a phrase that indicates which note is for which. None of these notes will be saved until you click on the Save button. We'll cancel the post note, and instead we'll save the headers note. And note over there on the side that an N is displayed now, indicating that a note has been attached to that usage. An alternate way of getting notes to be a part of your material list page and your notes page is the Manage Notes feature. So right here, I'm going to right-click on the list. Instead of choosing Create Note, I'll choose Manage Notes, and a list of pre-made notes shows up. For example, here's one on FSC lumber. I can edit it, make any changes that I want. This one I like the way it is, so I'll come back and I'll choose Attach. And a little L shows up indicating that it's a list note. I can go to the project and do something similar. Go to the Project tab, right-click, choose Manage Notes. Once again, we have the Manage Notes window with a list of notes available. And I'll go to the Siding and Trim. Click Edit, look at my pre-made note and decide, in this case, I want to use 7 1/4 Hardy instead of 8. Make the change and click Attach. And the P shows up indicating that it's a project note. Once you've managed your notes or you've created your notes, you'll want to be able to adjust where they show up in your list. So go to the Notes tab. On the left side, you'll see what looks similar to the Manage Notes window. All the available notes and the different columns indicating how those notes have been used, either project, list, or usage, or the fourth column would be for framing layouts if a note had been attached to a framing layout. On the right side are how those notes will show or what order they will be in when the material list is printed. You can reorder them as desired, putting them in the right place. Over on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see Import and Export buttons. These allow you to send out or bring in a list of notes that you've created that you would like to use in multiple different projects or files. Finally, the Notes tab itself can be drug out and kept separate in a different window off to the side. To do this, take your mouse and click on the Notes tab and drag until the blue box appears, and then drop it into its own window. This can be useful because perhaps your workflow is to look through the project and create a bunch of notes as you glance over and review before you begin your work. With the note window off to the side, you can click Create, type the title for your note and the information you want to provide, and click Save, and that will be added to your list. Then later on, as you draw your products and assign them, you can attach notes as needed. So there's a quick review about the Notes feature in PrebuiltML and how you can use it to communicate to your customers effectively.